a dying man asked the Hulk for a transfusion of his blood, and the answer is no. His name is Jim Wilson. He has been Bruce Banner's friend since he was a teenager, and he is the Falcon's nephew. He also has AIDS in 1994, when that word still emptied a room. It opens at a school in Los Angeles, where a riot has broken out over whether a child with AIDS is allowed to attend. Jim is there with a placard reading that ignorance breeds fear, and somebody puts him on the ground. A television crew is filming when the Hulk lands in the middle of it. A policeman shoots at him. He catches the round in his hand and points out that a ricochet could have hit the crowd. This is the era when Banner is in control inside that body, so the Hulk is articulate and everybody finds it unsettling. He asks the men standing over Jim which of them hurt his friend. Then he picks him up and takes him somewhere safe. Somewhere safe is the Pantheon, and their doctors find it is much worse than Banner was told. It is not HIV, it is full-blown AIDS, and has been for a while, 2 broken ribs and pneumonia on top. A doctor suggests starting him on an experimental compound. Banner refuses, because it has never been tested on a human being. Meanwhile, hundreds of miles away, Betty Banner is working a night shift on a telephone helpline. A man calls, tells her he has just been diagnosed, and hangs up. Then he calls back to apologize for being short with her. She reads him what she has, a hotline, a drug he has never heard of, and the fact that people stay symptom-free for years. He asks her whether any of it can tell him what happens after he dies. She says no. Back at the Pantheon, Jim is not interested in dying comfortably. He tells Banner that death wants him, and he intends to go down fighting, and that Banner must have something. Banner says the only thing he has is experimental, and that he cannot cross that line. And Jim tells him he can cross borders to fight wars, but not a line to help a friend. Then he finds the argument that actually works. Blood transfusions are not illegal. So give me a transfusion, he says. Your blood. Because it has worked once already, and they both know it. Banner once gave an emergency transfusion to his dying cousin Jennifer, and it saved her life. It also turned her into the She-Hulk, permanently. Banner tells him his blood is not a magic cure, that the danger is enormous, and asks him not to make him do this. Jim tells him that if he refuses, he is killing him as surely as the virus is. And then he says he is not asking anymore, he is begging. Banner says no. Betty spends that same night on the phone with the same stranger, keeping him talking. He tells her about playing football at college, about what the illness will do to him, about what people will think. She tells him she is Betty Banner, the Hulk's wife, so he can take it from her that her own life has not been easy either. And at some point in that conversation, she promises she is going to save him. At the Pantheon, the next thing we see is a line running into Jim's arm. He tells Bruce it took a while, but he can feel it working. He starts planning what comes next, the antidote they will build from it, the thousands of people it will save. He tells Bruce he is going to be a hero for this. Then he asks to speak to the doctor alone for a minute. And when the door shuts, he asks her straight out whether this is really Bruce's blood going into him. She tells him it is not. Banner never agreed. He had them run something else and let his friend believe it was the real thing. And Jim's reaction is not anger. He says he understands why Bruce could not do it, and that he should never have asked him. Then he asks the doctor for one thing: do not tell Bruce that I know. So when the Hulk comes back into the room, Jim jokes about how much stronger he feels. He says he will be leaping out of that bed in a couple of minutes, and then Bruce is going to see something. He dies that night. The Hulk stands at the empty bed, and the doctor asks whether Jim had worked it out and told him not to say. Then he goes through the wall. He turns up outside the building where Betty is working and asks her the question he's been carrying all night: whether he should have done it, and whether, if he had, he would have saved Jim or turned him into something. What he actually asks is why destroying things is so easy and saving them is so hard. Betty does not get to answer because the phone rings, and the man she has spent the night keeping alive is calling one more time. She loses him. She never even learns his girlfriend's name, so she cannot warn her. 2 people die here, and the Hulk cannot punch either one of them. That is the whole point of it.